Professional interaction. Interaction is defined as a mutual or reciprocal action or exchange. To interact is to act together towards others or with others. Interactions are a key component to professionalism. As an educator, you will constantly be interacting with a variety of people in many different ways. Before we begin our study of professional interactions, let's take a look at some different examples of interactions that took place in the famous 1938 chartbuster, The Wizard of Oz. Think back to the memorable interaction that took place at the beginning of the movie between Dorothy's Auntie Em and the neighbor who turned out to be the Wicked Witch of the West. The witch was furious with Auntie Em for allowing Dorothy's dog Toto to run free on the dirt path. She verbally attacked Auntie Em by threatening, "I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too." How effective was this form of communication? Now let's recall the interaction that Dorothy had with the Tin Man as they made their first acquaintance with each other. Although the Tin Man was a strange character in Dorothy's eyes, she attempted to understand the predicament that plagued the poor man, as his joints were rusted, making him unable to move about freely. Rather than displaying signs of judgment, she graciously grabbed his oil can and helped to bring his body back to life. What would have happened to the poor Tin Man if Dorothy had not accepted him for what he was? And finally, remember that each of the four main characters in Dorothy's dream was lacking a life necessity: a brain, courage, a heart, and a home. On their difficult journey to the land of Oz, they worked together, supporting each other through the quest to find what they needed. What would have become of the Scarecrow, the Lion, the Tin Man, and Dorothy if the four had not collaborated? In terms of communication, it is found that an effective teacher must be able to articulate thoughts and ideas clearly and coherently in both writing and speaking. Demonstrating conventions of standard written and spoken English is an essential skill which teachers must hone. Being that the world is now filled with communication devices such as text messaging, instant messaging, tweeting, and blogs, one might be tempted to use brief forms and informal language. However, regardless of with whom the teacher is communicating and which mode of communication is being used, formal standard English must remain constant. Additionally, teachers should always keep the audience with whom they are communicating in mind and should adjust their language accordingly. A skilled teacher has the added responsibility of communicating effectively not only with the students, but also with parents, colleagues, and the community.
Another area of professional interactions is the contributions that are made to the profession. As a student in the area of education, one is exposed to many of the most recent and updated research findings in terms of technology, brain information, teaching techniques, and strategies. The school systems depend on the teaching candidates and beginning teachers to share this information with those who have been in the field longer. In addition, teaching candidates and beginning teachers often have a fresh enthusiasm that comes with being up on the latest information. Such professionals must be willing to share these current thoughts and ideas with others while accepting helpful materials and ideas in return. At the same time, it is important to be able to function in a group setting where each member contributes actively. Being familiar with the school's mission, philosophy, and goals will enable you to focus your attention on the issues that are most important to the students and the school as a whole. Remember that without the Scarecrow's brain, the Tin Man's heart, and the Lion's courage, the team probably would not have made it to the land of Oz. It is important to keep in mind that each member of a group has strengths and should contribute accordingly.
What is a lifelong learner? He or she is one who continuously seeks out opportunities to grow and change. A successful teacher must be a lifelong learner. In order to continually grow both professionally and personally, it is important for students, teacher candidates, beginning teachers, and seasoned teachers to take part in professional clubs and organizations which enable the professional to be aware of the most important research, news, and issues in the field. A growing professional takes the time to self-reflect and to seek input from other professionals regarding his or her teaching. Constructive criticism should be accepted and measures should be taken to improve in areas of weaknesses. Even Oz realized that he could not stay stagnant behind that curtain. By the end of the movie, he was soaring to higher places. It is said that knowledge is power, and this is one of the ways to gain that power. Once in the field, teachers should seek out professional development opportunities that will ensure continued growth. Other ways of growing professionally are to work to obtain national board certification and/or advanced degrees in the area of education.